Hi, and welcome to the Happiness Coach podcast. My name is Brant, and I am the Happiness Coach. I believe our natural state is peace and calm, and the only thing keeping us from living life from that centered space are our limiting beliefs. It's my understanding that thoughts like, I'm not worthy, I'm not safe, or I'm not enough can be eliminated. Once revealed and questioned, they begin to lose their hold so that our natural state of greatness can rise up and into our present day experience. On this podcast, you'll listen in on real life coaching calls, interviews with leading experts, and open discussions exploring limiting beliefs and their transformation. If after listening you found it interesting or helpful, please follow and share. If it inspires you to consider becoming a life coach yourself, visit my website for upcoming ICF-approved life coach certification training dates at www.loribrant.com. All right, let's jump in and get started. I have found that clients want what they want to acquire things, achieve things, experience things because they want to feel a certain way. They believe that something outside of them will trigger that feeling that they crave within them. They may not be consciously aware of it, but that's what's happening. During this session, the client has expressed the desire to find herself, to have a purpose. For her, being busy is synonymous with having purpose. This appears to be because when she was busy raising her children, she felt deeply connected and valued. Now that her children are older and she has more time on her hands, she's struggling to find that same value and connection in her everyday life. It would be easier to coach this client to do something else to keep her busy, but coaching her to rely on outside circumstances to feel happy would be setting her up to end up right back where she started. Everything outside of us changes. So if we rely on that to feel happy, we're setting ourselves up because when it changes, our happiness changes. If the client can experience connection without relying on what is outside of her, she'll experience the freedom she craves regardless of outside circumstances, regardless of the activity. The prominent limiting belief during this call is, I need to be busy to be happy. Welcome. I'm pretty excited to have you with me today for this podcast. And we talked a little bit earlier about what potentially you might want to work on. But because that was a little while ago, I'd like to check in again just in case it's changed. So if we were to spend the next hour together, what is the biggest goal or something that's on your mind that you'd like to work towards with me?
I guess moving forward with different ages. So turning 40, my son is all grown up. The children's are good. Everything's good. It's just finding myself as a person again, because I find that women or men have a tendency to like scutter a little bit. Sometimes we work, we do for kids and everything. And then when kids are older, I find that we have to kind of find ourselves again. And yeah, and a lot of people, when I talk to, have a lot of trouble with it.
So what I'm hearing is you'd like to work on finding yourself again. And
Yeah,
would you say that the biggest blocker barrier that you're kind of experiencing then is an empty nester kind of syndrome? Is that it?
I guess so. You can say that. Yes.
And so someone's left, things have changed, but is there anything in particular that comes up for you?
Well,
And
nobody has left. Not everybody's still here. They're older.
okay.
They don't need me anymore. The caretaker is not not necessarily needed.
Okay. And what would you say is your biggest blocker barrier to finding yourself on your own right now?
Myself.
And what do you mean by that?
Um, Learning the things I like to do, things I don't like, rather than like foods, for instance. I'll give you an example. Like, when you cook a whole meal for the whole family, you make sure I'm happy, we're happy, everybody eats it. It's all about the kids, make sure they like it. And then, well, now they're older, so they eat out all the time, the teenagers. So it's like, okay, well, I really didn't really like that. So I'm going to cook this instead because I like it or my body needs it, and I'm going to do this for myself, which is not a problem. It's just we're learning how it's almost like baby steps again for me, you know?
Okay, so but in a way, it sounds like you are really finding yourself again with just that example. Like you are doing that on your own. You're able to identify what's not working. You implemented something to do differently, and it worked. So, is there something else that you, or another area of your life in particular, that you're finding difficult to finding yourself again?
No, I guess just letting it go. Just letting it go.
Okay.
Letting what I knew before go.
All right. So would you say then that that is probably preventing you from moving forward a little bit? It's creating a bit
I
of a
think
challenge.
so, maybe, yeah.
Okay,
I guess
great.
that's
Thank you.
mm.
So if you were finding yourself again, so I want you to imagine that, okay, you're there. You've arrived. You've completely found yourself again. What would that mean? Like what would that look like?
I have no idea. um,
So how would you know that you found yourself?
I don't know. Maybe be a little bit more busier rather than less busier. Before you had to do so much, and now you have that time, that quiet space. I guess I'm maybe trying to fill it again with business. I don't know.
Okay, so let's imagine that you have a magic wand and you could wave it, and that would mean in that moment that you could find yourself.
Hmm.
Okay, so if that happened, what would be different?
What would be different? I have no idea.
Because what's really interesting here is that here's something that you're wanting to move towards, but yet we can't define what it is that you're wanting. So in a way, it's like a moving target. Like, how do you know if you're ever going to get what it is that you think that you want? So that's why I'm kind of trying to like, okay, so let's really map
Uh-huh.
this out. Yeah.
I have no idea. I truly, I have no idea.
Okay. So when you say the expression, I want to find myself, do you have a vision of someone maybe in your life or someone that you admire that has found themselves?
No.
Okay.
No.
And okay, so let's just maybe we just leave that terminology alone for a second.
Okay.
And if you wanted to be living your life the way that you want to be living it, what would that look
Okay. I would be traveling. I'd be gone. I'd never be home.
like? Okay, so traveling where?
The world. I would just pack up. I don't even need to have a home. I would pack up and just go every year, a different country, different something.
So you were traveling the world. And now when you think of, you traveling the world, are you doing this by yourself with other people?
Doesn't matter. I'm just not home.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I don't like
what
I'm
is
I'm
the
just
part
not home.
what is the
I
part
guess
about not being home that sounds so exciting?
busy. I like being busy.
And do you like being busy for the sake of being busy, or do you like to be busy doing anything in particular besides traveling?
A purpose. I need to have a purpose. I need to be busy to do something, to go somewhere, to see something.
And when you
Hmm.
imagine yourself doing something with purpose, what would be the criteria for something to be considered purpose?
Something I have to do, something I love to do, something to feed my soul, something that I desired. I want to go do it. So I have to go get there. I have to travel. I have to walk there, fly there. Uh, yeah.
And when you think of something of purpose, then that is something that happens outside of you.
Yes, I guess.
Okay. And can you tell me a time like when you felt you were doing something of purpose or with purpose or it was your purpose?
Before,
Yeah.
okay, like, well, I don't know, taking care of my son, daycare, school.
Okay, so you're
Um,
taking care of your son.
mhm.
How was that your purpose? Like what was it about taking care of him that you felt this I'm doing my purpose or I'm on purpose or
I was busy. I was going places, taking him places. We were traveling together. We were never home when he was little. And then,
and when you
middle
went
school.
out and you went to places, what kind of places did you go to?
Parks, cities, countries, drive. We just drive, and he would say right or left, and then I would just churn, and we would get lost. And then for hours, we would find different cities, different parks. We'd be 2 hours away from home, and then like a journey.
Okay, so and what is that something that you would consider being with purpose today if you were to do that on your own?
And I do it on with my own. Yeah, I think I would do it. Maybe I have a dog with me for safety.
Okay, so does
Yeah,
that meet your criteria of doing something with purpose and to be busier?
yeah, I think I need to be busy.
Okay, because when you're busy, what happens within you?
Well, what happens when I'm busy? I don't stop. I keep going. What do you mean?
How does it feel when you're busy doing things that you love and
Feels good.
feels good? How?
Um, I'm not sitting. I'm doing something. I don't know where you're trying to go
I don't know
with
where
that
you're.
question.
I
Like,
just want
there's
to check
time to,
in. Uh,
like, there's, go
yeah,
ahead.
where do you feel it inside you when you are doing something like driving around on an adventure? So
What
for
was it again?
you
I don't
said
get
I
it.
feel good.
I
And
feel good.
good is a very general term.
Excited. I need excitement. I feel good. I feel excited. I feel like maybe I learned something. Maybe I met somebody. Maybe I've seen a new place. Um, there's so much to see, so much to learn. Um,
So it sounds like you have a sense of like growing or expanding. Would that be true?
I guess. I didn't know.
Okay, so I want you to consider another example in your life when you felt like you were on purpose or you were doing something that you love or fed your soul. Can you think of one?
Another purpose?
Not another
Uh,
purpose, just a time when you felt that you were loving what you were doing.
um, I love working with people. Is that where you going with it?
Wherever you want to go with it.
Okay. I
Okay,
really like,
you always
uh,
like working with people, or is there some
yeah, no,
particular
always have.
instances? Okay.
Yeah, always one-on-one. I know my group settings, but I really liked, I should have been a traveler. I really like connecting to people and different types of people and just learning about them because learning through them, I felt like I truly like enjoyed life in the sense of finding who they are, if they went somewhere or their good things or bad things or um, like there's only so much of me to see. So traveling or talking to somebody, I would travel like through their eyes, or like let's just say if I talk to you on the personal level right now, you say, well, I went to India, and I would ask you all these questions, and I try to like be there with you when you were telling me, and kind of imagine it, me being there alone, and to see how much I would love it to be there. Like every person has their story, so I really enjoy their stories. So I think connecting to people one on one, I really enjoy that, and meeting new people. That's that's where I need to work with more people.
Okay.
I need to connect with some people, maybe.
Is there any connection between how we started with about finding yourself and working with people more?
Well, I guess I stopped a little bit when my son was, because I was so busy with him. I stopped a little, only worked one on one with clients at the spa, but um, I don't know.
Okay,
Forgot the question.
I want you to imagine you're meeting new people, you are learning about people, you're spending one-on-one time with new people. Would that be considered the type of purposeful busyness?
I think so.
And would there be other things you'd like to have you would like to have happen as well besides that, just meeting people and talking to them? Remember, this is your magic wand. You get to design it.
I know. And going to new places. Seeing and witnessing what maybe they witnessed. Like through the journey that I've met a lot of people doing aesthetics. I learned different countries without being there. I learned about South Africa because somebody's been there. So now I want to go there because I remember the story that someone told me. Or in England, somebody who's a 70-year-old lady who told me how she lived somewhere in England at a wartime, and her stories, I feel like I was there with her. So now I want to go to England. I want to go see where she lived, and I want to, like there's so much to see and so much to know.
And if you did that, let's just say hypothetically you did that, you went on that trip, how would you hope that that experience would, or how do you hope that experience would be?
Great.
Because why? What would be happening that would really, you know,
Make it good. Witnessing it. Witnessing history, or buildings, or even like trees or grass. Even grass is different place, different country, different city. Even things are different. Some cities have more, I don't know.
when you talk about this, what comes to mind is I feel like there's a deeper sense of presence when you're talking about traveling and where you'll go and how you'll take it all in versus maybe
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious, like let's say that you could have these deep, intimate connections with your surroundings right here. What would
i'm
that
not
be?
having it I'm not having a deep surrounding connection right here.
But what if we waved the magic wand and you were? So
I
let's say
was.
that you arranged to go to a particular area of your town and you spent an hour, you know, connecting to the grass and the history and the building
Mm-hmm.
and the people and how you felt.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be considered purposeful to you?
But I already did that.
Okay, so tell me about that. How is that different?
Okay.
Yeah.
How is it different now because I did it?
Well, you said I did that. So how is that different than the traveling? So what is that traveling piece giving you that you're not getting here?
I don't know. Seen it, done it. I'm bored.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And so being busy isn't necessarily is it so that you're not bored?
I guess not.
Okay. So if you weren't bored, what would you want to be instead? Now I know you're saying busy, but busy, you can be busy and bored, if that makes sense.
You can.
Yeah,
Yes, that makes sense.
yes. Okay. So I'm trying to really get clear on what it is that you're hoping to experience or feel.
Mhm.
So it's not, you don't want to be bored, you want to be,
I don't know. Hello?
yeah, this
Oh,
feeling that you're
okay.
wanting, have you
Okay.
ever felt it before?
Yes.
Okay, can you just maybe tap into that? And what was it that you were feeling?
Free.
Free. Okay, good. Anything else come up?
Free, happy, no, just light. Um, no, free, free.
Okay, so if we were to, okay, I know that you've been there, done that. So if you were to go to a particular place, so let's say, can you give me not a name, but maybe just a park or a building? Have you got one in mind that you can think of?
Here or
Yeah,
somewhere else?
somewhere near you. Maybe
Near
there's a
me.
body of water or something like that.
Okay.
Okay. So if you went there, let's say,
Okay.
hypothetically,
Yeah.
and there's no agenda, you're just there to experience it wholly and
Hmm.
completely, just like you would if you were going to Europe.
Okay.
Okay, with the intention that you're going there just to experience it, all of it, and take it all in, and meet the
Yes.
people along your way, and ask them the questions that you say, really feel good about learning about other people.
Uh-huh.
Would that elicit that free, happy, light feeling that you're talking about?
Probably.
Okay. So what happened differently between that response and the one earlier that you said, yeah, no, been there, done that?
I'm by the water.
Okay. So what is it about the water that changed you?
um, there's less houses, I guess. Um,
And because there's less houses, what happens within you that's different?
I can breathe. Yeah.
So tell me about that. What do you mean you can breathe? Because obviously you were breathing before. So what's different
Yeah.
about breathing near the water?
Um, well, it's different air,
Okay.
less pollution. I don't know. It's just cluttered. Houses are cluttered. I need a bit more nature, I guess. I need more trees, more water, more elements rather than houses. I'm in Niagara-on-the-Lake, by the way.
Okay. So
I am far away from the main street as well. I'm like, there's an area that sometimes I drive, and it's at the very end of the main street, and it's just like that point. And there's like, I think one house to the left, and then to the right you have a park. I think it's golfing. I'm there. I'm good there. There's like only one house. So I guess maybe less people as well, less crowding.
okay. So I'm curious, is it possible that I heard that you're bored, but does it feel like a cluttered feeling that's going
Maybe.
on within you right now?
Maybe. I don't know.
How does bored show up within you? Like, what would you do if you were having a boring day?
Okay, I would have to do my responsibilities and clean and cook.
But that's busyness, and that was coming up earlier as that meant you were on purpose. So what is
I don't
different?
know. What is different? I have no idea. Between me being in Niagara-on-the-Lake or being at home?
Well, being bored and busy, being busy and on purpose versus being busy doing responsibilities at home.
I have no idea.
When you are when you were describing earlier about I'm on purpose when I'm busy, I'm not at home. What were you thinking? What activities were coming up for you when you were thinking about that?
When I'm busy at home?
You said no, earlier you said I'm on purpose when I'm busy and I'm not at home.
Hmm. Okay, you have to word it a bit differently.
You
I
said
can't
earlier
remember what we discussed.
I I am happy when I'm doing something I love, when I am busy, when
Yes,
yeah, okay. So what activities would you be doing if you were busy in that place?
at home. Okay. Um,
At home or not at home? You earlier you said you wouldn't be home, that would make you
I
happy.
wouldn't be home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess talking to you, me realizing that maybe I should sell my house and just go travel. Because home responsibility is not something maybe I'm looking for.
No responsibility. Okay. And so let's just take a look. So what do you consider are your major responsibilities right now?
Paying for a mortgage,
Hmm.
making sure there's groceries in the house if the kids eat it, if they eat it because they eat out. Um, Clean laundry, gardening, mm, just normal stuff.
And if you were traveling, you
Uh-huh.
see yourself not having any of that. You would have no living expenses.
I think I'd be happier.
Okay, so let's just consider that. So if you were traveling, you would have no living expenses.
Hmm. Uh-huh.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well, how would you move around? Like, are you backpacking it? Are you living in off the land or
I have no idea, but it's exciting.
okay,
I
so
don't know. I
yeah,
would
so
probably, yeah, I have no idea because I've never really done it. I don't know. Like once my son, I think he's finished university or college, I considered maybe like, I don't know, not having a home if he doesn't need a home and just, I don't know, staying with my parents, going to Europe, maybe staying with family members and then traveling. I would sleep in the car. I'm not scared to sleep in the car. Maybe, I don't know. Um, I have no
okay.
idea.
So what I'm hearing, so this is it's kind of like swirling a little bit, if I can kind of call it that, because on one hand, what it is that you're wanting is really to just feel free, happy, and light. Correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
And where you are now, it sounds like when you're whatever it is that you're doing, it's
Okay.
I sense that you're like checked out. Like it's just you're just doing it. It's like robotic.
It is. Yep.
Yes. And
Hmm.
and when we explored what brings you joy, like what brings that light feeling, it's being completely present with what it is that you're doing.
Hmm.
So it's not the actual environment or the activities that's creating the light or happy feeling. It's how you're showing up in each of those activities. Does that make sense?
Hmm. Yes.
So if you were, because on one hand, okay, I want to just drop everything and travel, but I have no idea what it's like to travel. It's kind of like, we have a perception of what it would be like to travel. And what that perception sounds like is it just means you won't have to do any of the things that you don't like doing now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. If I don't have to
Yeah.
clean the toilet, it'd be great.
Yeah. Okay. But what if that
Okay.
same awareness that you imagine yourself having in Europe you had it here.
Okay.
You had that same presence that you're looking for to be, trying new things and experiencing it in a different way. And you introduce that here.
Okay, so how would I introduce that here? If
Well,
I haven't had it yet, how would I have that here?
but in a way that you have had it, because when you go out to the Niagara on the Lake, you were saying, you
Yes.
go near the water, you
Mm-hmm.
have it there.
Yes.
So you're able to well, the houses aren't there. So it's like the chaos is blocked out and
Yes.
you're more aware. Right. Okay. So because you're having it there means that you have that ability to bring that anywhere.
Yes. Okay. I see what you're telling me.
You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? Okay. So I'm curious as to, where's an area of your life perhaps that you would like to see more of what you experience at the lake and bring it into that activity somewhere else in your life?
Mm, where would I do it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So where is the place in your life now that you're feeling the most bored, let's say?
In my entire life.
Like right like in your present day experience, like given your obligations and given your regular routine, where
Yeah.
in that routine do you find that you're finding yourself the most bored?
Everywhere.
Yeah, I know that. What if you had to pick, what would be like one?
Everywhere. Everywhere. Getting up in the morning, going to work, coming home, doing a couple clients at work or at home, cleaning in between. And it's everything the same day over and over and over and over.
Okay, so maybe let's think. Okay, if you can't think of an area of your life that you would like to work on first,
Because
if,
I think it's everywhere.
okay,
I feel like I'm doing the same thing every day.
okay, so what part of your day would you like to see some change? Like if you were like just to pick a part of that day,
To see what kind of change.
to find that free, happy, light feeling that you feel at Niagara and the Lake. So in other words, I could say, okay, I get that you're not feeling happy in any parts of your life right now, but that's a big thing to take on all at once. Let's take on your whole
Yes.
life, right? So I'm just saying, okay,
Okay, cleaning. I wouldn't want to clean my house.
okay. So
Okay.
when you clean
Let's
your
just say
house, I want you to tell me what that experience is like for you.
I do it on my own.
Okay, so you're alone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
I
what kind of thought processes are going on when you're cleaning?
well, I'm angry. I'm doing it on my own. It's just not my house, number one. You know,
So the angry thoughts might be something like what?
like kids pick up your mess, wash your dishes. This isn't just my house. I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like women or just one person in the household takes that role of cleaning the house, and I think it should be a mutual thing. If I didn't have to clean my house so much, I would have time to go for a drive to Niagara on the Lake. But I have responsibility to actually clean my house. I need to get cleaning lady. Maybe that's gonna make me happy. Get a cleaning lady.
Okay, so how does that feel when you're processing those angry thoughts while you're cleaning? Like, where do you feel that in your body?
In my stomach.
Okay, and tell me about that.
Angry?
Yeah, what is that? How does that show up? So you feel it in your stomach. So is it like tense? Is it tight? Is it
Oh
thrown
yeah,
up?
I want to scream at somebody.
Okay. And when you want
Yeah,
to scream, do you feel it anywhere else? Like when I want to scream, I kind of feel it like in my neck, in my
yeah,
shoulders.
in my throat. Well, my throat because I'm screaming at somebody.
Okay.
So in my throat. But the anger is deep in my stomach. Like I hold my breath in if I think of it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so this is making a lot of sense because your desire to, you said earlier, I want to, because down there I can breathe, because down there
Mm,
I feel light. And so, if you think about the experience you're having on a regular basis, might be something like a tight, holding my breath and stomach, and a throat that's wanting to scream, and in that anger, versus if you imagine yourself down at Niagara Lake, you're free and you're happy and you're light. Does that make sense?
yeah. Well, I didn't bring in with me the responsibility.
Okay, so how does responsibility show up in your life? So I know what responsibility is, but how
Yeah.
does it show up when you feel responsible?
Stuck. I feel stuck.
Okay, good.
I guess I'm not the norm person. Being home with family, it's okay. But being home, stuck home, and having responsibility because I have to have the responsibility. Society expects me to be the normal person. I have responsibilities, makes me feel stuck. I want to be able to free myself and say, I don't want to do this. Just because you tell me I have to do this, it doesn't mean it's okay for me to do this.
Okay, so what would it be like to okay, so let me ask you this. Is there any part in your life where you make the decision as to what you want to do?
All my decisions are mine.
Okay, so but what I heard you say is that you have to be responsible and you have to do those things at home.
Well, yeah, I don't want to live in the dirt. I don't want to live in a dirty house.
Okay, you make the choice to do the cleaning.
Well, it got fallen on me. I wish it was everybody clean so that way it was clean rather than everybody puts dishes in the sink and just they walk away.
Okay, but if we were to just zero in on your decision that you're
Okay.
saying that you're choosing, you make all your choices
Yes.
and you're choosing to clean because you like a clean house.
Yes, which is not fun. I'd rather be on the road.
Okay, because on your road you feel light because you're not angry.
I'm
So
free.
the interesting thing is that when I'm hearing this, I can clean and I can be free, happy, and light,
In the moment.
or I can be traveling and feel free, happy, and light. And it
Okay.
has less to do with what I'm doing and more to do with how I'm doing it. Does that make sense?
Yes. So how do I change my mind frame?
Okay, because technically, and I'm sure there's people that could contest to this, you could be traveling and be very angry.
Yes. No, no,
Yes.
no. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So what I'm hearing is that when you are actually cleaning, the thoughts that you're processing are all these statements or beliefs about how you shouldn't be doing what you're doing, and that other people should be doing what you're doing, because if you weren't doing what you were doing, you could be doing something else. Does that
Yeah.
sound true?
Yes.
Okay. So in that moment, now I know we talked about being present and you were present in Niagara on the lake.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just compare the experience of that. So when you're at Niagara on the lake, are you processing thoughts that I don't want to do this? This isn't something I should be doing. Somebody else should be standing here, not me.
No,
No, what thoughts are you thinking there?
there's no thoughts. It's just clear.
Okay. So how are you aware of
Uh-huh.
how that's clear, your mind's clear there?
How am I aware?
Yeah, are you aware of how,
Hmm.
because technically you could be standing there processing the same thoughts that you should.
Well, technically, in my mind, I am there.
Okay, so at Niagara on the Lake, so how are you not processing those same cleaning thoughts or any other thoughts like, oh, look at that garbage on the ground, that shouldn't be there, someone else should pick that up? And So how, you know, the thing is, you already know how to do what it is that you're needing to do to get what you want. And
Okay.
what I'm sensing is that it's like it's like you're riding on the edge instead of dropping in to this conversation that we're having.
Okay.
And so I don't know how we can do this, but I sometimes I can invite you to close your eyes
Mhm.
and imagine yourself sitting at Niagara on the Lake in that
Mhm.
space, and you've got this clear mind.
Mhm.
How is it clear? Like, how are not thoughts seeping in? And I don't want you to answer right away. I'm here. I'm just holding the space for you to drop in and consider. That's all.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Anything coming up?
Mhm.
Okay. You want to share?
You have to ask me questions. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Okay.
I don't know what you want from me, okay? I'm just joking.
All right. So there's you when you're at home and you're cleaning,
Yes.
and the thoughts are coming up. They're triggering anger. And then there's the same you is at the lake, and are the thoughts coming up there?
No.
Okay. And if there were thoughts coming up, what might they be? So maybe not the same thoughts are coming up there, but are there other thoughts coming up?
Nature. How amazing it is, I guess.
Okay, that's brilliant. Okay, good job. All right, so you recognize maybe how beautiful it is. So it's like you're recognizing the beauty. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, beauty, the air, the water, the lights, different light, depending when I'm there.
Okay, so I'm hearing that there's a seeing. You're using your eyes to see the beauty and the
Mhm.
light and the water. Is there anything you're feeling? Like, are you using your senses to take it in as well?
All of it.
Okay, so tell me what do you feel when you're there? How do you use your senses?
All of my senses. Everything feels great.
Yeah, I want you to go in there. I want you to really give a voice
Okay.
to all that you're saying. So you feel, how do you feel the beauty? How do you feel the light?
It's just through me. It's in me. It's around me. It's everywhere. I don't know. It's hard to describe it. It's
So tell
just
me how you're picking it up in your senses with your senses.
energetically, I guess.
Okay, so tell me what that means to you.
Um, what that means energetically comes through me. It comes in me, goes through me. It's all around me. It is me. It's everywhere. It's shared energetically. So I'm picking up the water instead of being in the water. I could just feel the water through me while it's beside me, but within me because I am water. I guess on a deeper level than anything else. The light could be shimmering a certain way in the water or light itself. I guess I like the meditative state.
Okay. So now I want you to imagine yourself at
Cleaning and doing the same thing? No, I'm not doing that. My meditative state is anger. There, if I'm
you're
cleaning that toilet, it's not going to be meditative.
okay, so let's just really explore that because on one hand, you're wanting to find yourself. And
Yes.
what you're saying is that you are most connected with who you really are when you're at the lake, when you're able to be in the flow of the experience and
I
allow
guess
it.
I'm all elements. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's not the place that created that, it was how you showed up there. So
Yeah.
you're trying to find yourself, but yourself already exists. It's already there. It's
Yes.
just whether or not you are dropping into it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Now, I can't, I can coach you to bring that meditative experience into all of your life so that you
Into my toilet cleaning.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And so because why is it that um hypothetically, okay, so let's say that everything at the lake is you. It flows in and around and through you. So how is that any different than when you're stuck in traffic, you're cleaning a toilet, picking up clothes, swimming in a lake?
I'm indoors. I guess I don't like being indoors.
Okay, so the idea of being indoors, what does
Suffocate me.
okay, so that's really interesting. So what you're doing is you're starting to identify some really powerful things about what potentially could be preventing you from feeling that connection to who you really are all the time. So I just want to honor that because I know it was like, oh, okay, so suffocating. Okay, so can you tell me your earliest experience of feeling suffocated inside?
Every day at home, inside a building.
Okay, always, like it's always been that way.
um, yeah, I just love being outside. And oh yeah, I don't even care if it's blizzarding outside. I don't care if it's raining. I mean, I would have to have a shelter, but it doesn't have to be closed. You could have a roof, but even if I'm like sitting under a huge umbrella and it's thundering out, oh, I love it.
So when you're inside, if you didn't have any responsibilities, so let's say we're going to move you to Europe, but we're going to put you inside there.
Okay.
Would that still feel suffocating?
I think if I was in a building, yeah, maybe. I
Okay.
need to maybe live in the woods.
Keep in mind that you've identified that you can feel the way that you want to feel based on how you show up.
Yes, I know.
And I'm also
It's just easier when you're out there, though.
it's easier
When
when
you already are outside,
yes,
than to bring it in.
yes, but if your goal is to connect with who you really are and finding yourself always exists. It's just not you're not connecting to it in all the areas of your life. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. So I guess at this point, are you open to working
Okay.
towards connecting and finding yourself in all areas of your life?
Yes, obviously, that's why we're doing this.
Okay, but that will require you to do
Okay.
things differently. And when I heard like I just made an observation that when we were going to entertain the possibility of changing up how you do toilets, you said, no, I'm not. No.
I just don't see myself being excited cleaning a dirty toilet. I don't know anybody that goes to clean a toilet and is excited about it. I don't know.
Okay. But are we looking to feel excited or are we looking to
Okay.
allow the experience to flow in and out so that we feel free and light?
Yes.
Okay. So we're not looking for an orgasmic experience here with cleaning the toilet.
No.
We're looking for that free, happy. And when I say happy, I'm talking like that neutral to light joy feeling. It's not like, whoa, clean the toilet, this is so amazing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's imagine would that be closer to the goal that you would like to achieve is to maintain a state of lightness and freedom throughout your whole day.
Yes.
Okay. So that no matter what you were doing, you were experiencing whatever was being done from a place of freedom and lightness.
Yes.
Okay. And is that what it is that you're looking for when you say, I want to find myself again?
Yes.
Okay. When we tapped into what happens at the lake, specifically of how you bring presence and you connect with your true self, it sounds like you are very aware of all your senses and the experience that your body is having as a result of that. Would that be true?
Yes.
Okay. If we were to take that strategy that you use to connect with your true self and the experience and everything around you in that,
Okay.
okay, how might you consider doing that to something that you're not doing it with now? Like, so we can say doing the toilet, but what, is there a particular thing in your life that you would choose to start with to try to bring that kind of awareness in?
Well, I started cleaning with organic products to make it more better for outside.
Okay, so the organic products is something that is outside of you. That's not you bringing presence.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
But I'm
what?
smelling it. it's smelling it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're talking about
Yes.
it's in me, it's through me, it's everything. So it's instead of using harsh chemicals, which I smell and it feels suffocating because they're strong. I decided to change my regime and I changed it to organic products so it's not suffocating. I open the window to let the air in,
Okay,
try to
perfect.
feel that moment that we were describing.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so can you help me out here and try to think of a regular activity where we could practice bringing this meditative self awareness into something that would be considered boring?
I don't know. Hmm. You're gonna have to pick because I have no idea.
This is your life. So, what part of your life would you like to be less bored in the most? Let's put it that way,
Less bored
or angry.
or angry. I'm not angry. Sometimes I'm angry. No, I'm not angry. Unless I have to do it all myself and the place is a mess, then obviously there's going to be some anger and issues. Um, I think taking on responsibilities that it shouldn't be mine, allowing things to maybe like let go of, I don't know, let go of things so that other people can pick up the slack themselves. Is that where you're going at?
I don't know. So, what I'm hearing is that you would like to work on the mental thought processes that you're having, that you're responsible for everything.
Yes. Okay, there you go.
Is that what you'd like to work on most?
I think so. Hmm.
Okay, so again, this is all about baby steps because it took a long way to get where you are now with how your routine is and everything. So, in order to disrupt that, we kind of just got to make a little bit of a baby step. So, if
Okay.
if we were to consider the strategy that you already use, that works for you, and that's when you use all your senses to consider the gifts in the moment, the beauty, um, energetically, how things feel. When you have that responsibility feeling, what if you just tuned in to the experience of that, just like you do at the lake?
Okay.
All right. So can you tell me what you think that would mean for you? Like, in a sense, like how would you actually do that?
I don't know what you're trying to get from me right at this moment. I'm trying to
Okay.
think.
If you okay, so let's imagine. So I'm at the lake and I'm going to try to be you and put myself in your shoes. And of course, we're all different, so I can't know what it's like to be you, and I'm not going to begin to try. But if
Okay.
I have a strategy that I use, and when I bring presence to, like, And when I'm at the lake, I find it much easier to let go of my thoughts. I notice that when thoughts come in, I'm able to say, "Oh, that's interesting," but then I don't attach to it. I I might notice how the sun feels on my skin. I might notice the wind on the hairs on my body. I kind of tune into the interior part of my body, maybe the tingles and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like that energetic experience that I might feel. So that if I was to bring that into a moment of let's say I'm really agitated, like I think like, oh my gosh, like, am I the only one that picks stuff up around here? And in that moment of just recognizing that I'm feeling agitated because of the responsibility, I could choose to just bring that 5 sense awareness kind of to the experience.
How?
I- I'm noticing that the thought that I'm being responsible for everything is there, and I'm going to allow it to pass through. Thank you. And not attach to it, just like I did at the lake. And then
Okay.
I might notice, like, oh, I'm feeling really tense in my shoulders. I'm feeling my stomach. And I'm just going to move into my awareness down to my stomach. And I'm just going to allow it to just have itself. Like, just, I'm going to observe how the stomach feels. I'm going to notice if I feel tight or if it's upset or is that tightness anywhere else? And then I might go there. So it's just like I'm going to bring all of my awareness to all the physical parts of me, just like I do at the lake.
Okay.
And then I might think, okay, so let's look at my experience because you talked a lot about bringing in using your eyes to bring in that awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I might do is just look around and notice, like, am I responsible for everything? And I might open up my perception to consider, well, I'm not responsible for this couch. That couch is just sitting there and I don't have to be responsible for that. And I'm breathing. I'm not responsible for that. My lungs are just doing it all on their own, and my blood is flowing through my body. I'm totally not responsible for that. I I have I'm my temperature is very very comfortable. I'm not responsible for that. It's like the
Mm-hmm.
air conditioner is doing that for me. And I'm noticing that I'm feeling satiated, so I'm not responsible for that. Somebody grew the food that I bought at a store that somebody owns, and I just went in there and got it. I wasn't responsible for all that other part. Like, do you see how I'm just bringing in all my senses to have the experience that you were having at the lake into that moment? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So what comes up for you when I talk with that? Is that something that you feel you could move from the lake into that experience or no?
Of course. I'm gonna try. Yeah, try to change my mind frame.
A lot of people, we want things in our life, like tangible things, like we want to travel or we want this or that, or if I just had that I would feel better. But ultimately, whatever we're feeling is it's going to move into whatever experience we're having. So even if we get what it is that we think we want, we're still going to have that feeling
The
inside.
same feeling.
Yeah, 'cause
Yes.
we're taking us with us, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And the only way to really move inward is to bring presence to what's drawing us outward. Is that
Yes.
okay?
Yeah, it makes
So,
sense.
yep. And the only way to do that is to discern when you're out and when you're in. So right now, it sounds like 90% of the time you're outside. You're not connected. You're not aligned. You're disconnected from the essence of who you are.
Mhm.
And until you bring that inward and bring yourself inward, that's where that lightness and that joy and that freedom is going to happen. But we gotta make that bridge. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely.
And the thing is, you are far more ahead than a lot of people because you actually know what it feels like to be aligned.
To feel like everywhere.
When you feel it at the lake, you're connected with the true essence of who you are. And
So
when
why am I so disconnected in my house?
because when you come home, let's say, right, instead of being taking in the beauty and allowing the experience to flow in and out and around you, you go up into your head and start judging it and comparing it. And that is drawing your energy outward
So why am I judging it though?
because it's the thoughts that you're processing and you're attaching to them.
Mhm.
But there is no magic bullet to this
No,
because the
absolutely.
experience is coming from within you. So until we can create a process where you can recognize when you're moving outward and bring that awareness that you have at the lake in to get you back in alignment. So when you said, can you clean the toilet and be happy? Absolutely.
I don't know.
Because I can clean the toilet and I can bring in all my senses. I can smell the product. I can appreciate how the water is cleaning the bowl. I can experience the idea that how great is it that I can go to the bathroom in my house and I don't have to go outside.
It's true that,
How
yes.
amazing that I can flush it and I don't have to sit with it in there all day long, and that I only have to technically clean it like once a week compared to, like, if I had a bucket, I would have to do that every time I used it.
Mhm.
And how I could physically use my hands and my arms to actually clean the toilet. Like, what a
Mhm.
gift that is. Because can you imagine if I didn't have arms in my arms, how could I clean that toilet? And that I don't actually have to pay anyone to do it. I can do it on my own because then I'm saving that money. And then with that money, I could do just something else with it. Like, do you see? So this mind process is
Mhm.
in alignment.
Are you talking about the energetic alignment or the
Yeah,
mental alignment?
it's the same thing. You're either aligned or you're not.
Hmm.
So when you're at the lake, you're doing it. You think
More energetical,
you're
yeah.
doing it. You're doing it automatically. It's coming naturally to you and you're not thinking about it. And I was trying to invite you to think about it because you have a strategy to be in alignment. You're just not using it in your real life,
Okay.
like in the rest of your life, sorry. So it is absolutely possible to bring that same kind of awareness that you have at the lake into everyday experiences, because when I'm thinking about the gifts of having an indoor flushing working toilet, I'm not processing how I shouldn't be washing the toilet. How much do you want to live your life from a state of freedom, lightness, and happiness? Because if
Mhm.
that's what you're wanting, then the only way in is to get aligned. Does
Okay.
that help?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I want to honor you. I really do, because I think that you represent a lot of people who are recognize that all of a sudden they're not living the way that they want. And I truly believe that's the universe calling you home because there's more to the experience that you could be having. And it's not
Mhm.
about what you do, it's about how you're doing what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So thank you so much for spending this time with me. And
Thank you.
during this call, I tried to get the client to drop into the experience she was either having or the experience she was wanting to have. When we gain clarity behind our desires, we are better able to create long lasting change. This client associates routine tasks, alone time, being home, and responsibilities as suffocating and boring. So her impulse is to leave it all behind, get busy doing anything other than what she is doing now to release the anxiety. But running away from something doesn't work because you're taking you with you. Her experience, her perception of being home alone, cleaning, is happening inside of her. If she wants to change the experience, she'll need to change the perception of it. By using the strategy of engaging her senses, discovering the beauty in the moment during everyday tasks, she'll be connecting with who she really is and will be able to entertain alternate perceptions of the experience she's having. You've been listening to Lori Brant, the Happiness Coach. If you enjoyed the program, please go to iTunes and follow, rate, or leave a comment. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, life coach certification, go to my website, loribrant.com, or perhaps even attending our Unleash Your Greatness conference so greatness can reflect back in beautiful Ridgeway, Ontario at the Buffalo Canoe Club on the shores of Lake Erie. You can learn more at www.unleashmygreatness.com.